Peter Venkovich retired from a successful career at the Library of Congress to fulfill his dream of living on the island of Ocracoke. And much like the migratory birds that first drew him there, Peter has become a vital part of what makes this remote barrier island such a unique and special place.
I do a walk every morning over to Springer's Point, and I always bring my camera. You never know what type of birds will show up. Ocracoke Island's a fascinating place for bird life. It's a small, narrow island, and therefore they move back and forth. It goes back to 1981, and I actually started birding up in DC area on weekends. And then someone said, "Hey, let's go down to Ocracoke tomorrow." And I said, "What is that? I'd never even heard of it." He says, "I don't know, it's an island and you're going to get there by ferry." And so I said, "Oh, that sounds cool." So I got onto the island. So I like to say this was my first bird through binoculars. I went up to look at it and it was a swallow-tailed kite. Now that's a southern bird, very rare in the Carolinas. So that got me excited, but more importantly, we drove 13 miles into the village, had lunch, and I said, "This is all national seashore, this will be protected?" He said, "Yeah." And I said, "They'll never be developed?" Just, "Nope, what you see is what you get." I said, "Damn, I'm gonna live here one day." And I never changed. I made that decision that day. So I reached a point, I think I was 32 years into the Library of Congress, and I could retire. When I arrived here, I said, well, I still got a kid in college, I gotta still work anyway, so I actually applied and got accepted to be the public librarian. We have a shared library on Ocracoke. It's school till 3 o'clock and public 3 to 7. Everyone kind of laughed because I went from the world's largest library to the world's smallest library.
Peter's one of those people that moved to Ocracoke and immediately got to know lots of folks on the island, got involved in a lot of activities where he's contributing to the community, including the Ocracoke Observer newspaper.
Welcome to the Ocracoke Observer newsroom, my screen porch. Someone who worked at the library with me, Connie Lineback, and she's a real reporter, wrote for the Reading Eagle for many, many years. So the owner decided to sell it, so we purchased it in March of 2014.
Surprisingly enough, on this tiny little island, there is a lot going on. There's a lot of news we have to deal with, ferries and government issues and interesting feature stories.
He and Connie really report the news. They're professional journalists, and they're the only source of active print that we have in Hyde County.
And it's just a small newspaper, what can you do that can have an impact? I do believe a newspaper should be uplifting and should be able to report on our activities. And we've extensively covered activities for the school and how well we're doing, including sports and academics. Okay, it's a beautiful day on Ocracoke, and a summer day it is. Let's go into a little bit of beach music there and go back to the great 60s. P-A-C-A-T-I-O-N. I started doing a radio show with WOVV within 1 month of my arrival here. So people would come into the radio station and say, "Oh, I did radio in college and I really enjoyed it." I said, "You're kidding." I said, "I want you back in tomorrow afternoon at 1 o'clock. You bring in a playlist, you're back in the saddle." I can't tell you how many people have come in there, First they come in with a game face. They've been up all night trying to get together that perfect 12 songs in the order. And by the time everyone is left with a smile. So anyway, you just have a little fun with that. But that's what community radio is, and that's the appeal for it.
I think he has a genuine commitment to contributing to the community. And I also think he just absolutely enjoys talking with different people.
He's a good poker player, but he does have a problem with staying awake past about 9:30. He starts dozing.
I always want to do things well. If I can't do it well, then I don't want to do it. And you always run the risk of anything of getting spread too thin, and that can certainly happen on Ocracoke as anywhere else.
He's in my church, and Peter is so dedicated to the fire station and saving lives that it's almost every Sunday that his beeper will go off, and There he goes. He gets on his bicycle and he goes down to the firehouse. He's always first one there. And unfortunately, I had the opportunity to ride the helicopter one time, and the first face getting out of the ambulance and getting on the helicopter, there was Peter, you know, giving me a prayer and best wishes. So he's just a tremendous asset to the community.
We have a wonderful community here. People look out for each other, and that has an incredible appeal for it, you know. To get to Ocracoke, you have to make an effort, and I think I've had a fascinating career. I'm very thankful for doing that, and I'm glad I made the change. Right now, I'm doing what I want to do, and that's why living on Ocracoke is such a unique space.